Writer, chef, and author Holly Herrick is out with her 9th book called The New Charleston's Chef's Table. I sit down one-on-one with Holly for a special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And be sure to download the free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores.
Holly Herrick.
Hi, Quintin.
It is so good to see you.
You too. It's been a while.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, anytime. I know that we see each other a lot at Charleston Hospitality Group, where I work and you work. I went on your Facebook page because, you know, I haven't interviewed you for Quintin's Close-Ups in the past 4 years or so.
I know. I'm thinking it's been about 4.
That's right. I came to your house when I was rain that summer.
I know. I moved from that house. I'm now in James Islands. I moved from there 3 years ago.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Probably quiet out there.
It is. I like it.
Yeah, thank God for that. And I know that your Facebook biography says this: I love all things delicious, per a meal, cooking, heart, laughter, intelligence, and pets.
That's about it. And history, too.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Who else is Holly Herrick these days?
Well, Holly Herrick is a little bit tired. This is my 9th book, the 9th in 10 years. So wow. I've been on a real, I've been very prolific, at least by most people's standards. So, and again, working with Charleston Hospitality Group for the past year.
Yes.
And moving. So I'm kind of in a stage right now after, this is sort of my first new edition. It's a real love letter. Somebody once described the original edition, which came out in 2009. So really a while ago. In terms of the synthesis of the restaurant scene since then, it's just become even that many more levels delicious and broader and bigger in terms of how many restaurants, what kinds of restaurants, price points, and all over the city, not really just concentrated in the peninsula. So, where am I going with that? Oh yeah, so it was, this is an update of the original from 2009, so I basically put in it's 80 profiles of restaurants with 80 recipes from restaurants, and it was a lot of interviews with a lot of chefs, which are always hard to track down, as you know.
Yes.
But they really drove the content of this book, I felt like, because I really let them more so than the first one was more, I kind of made it more food specific, and the front is a lot about the history of Charleston, which I love, especially as it relates to food. But they kind of let them each tell their story as it relates to how they do their work, and it just kind of came together that way. It was very organic, to use a food term.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, now that that's done, I'm actually taking a couple months to kind of reorganize myself and do some promotion of the book, but I'm thinking about getting into some more maybe different genres of writing.
Sure.
I've been thinking for a long time getting into novels, culinary romance novels. It might be time now.
If anybody can do is you.
I think so. I've certainly got a lot of fodder from my stays in France and working with chefs, and you know, the food industry is interesting in the best possible way. It attracts a really diverse and wonderful pool of talented and passionate people.
Sure.
So there's always a lot of stories involved with that.
Oh, you're right about that. You talk about the food scene. You talk about the notable chefs around town here. You talk about Charleston. What is the state of Charleston's restaurant scene right now in your mind?
Well, I think that there's a lot of really great things, and there's some things that aren't so great. I think let's start with maybe the not so great. You may have seen yesterday that Charleston was lauded yet once again for being the #1 destination in the country. Dining and History drive both of those tourist reasons for coming here naturally, and also I think 10th in the world out of 15 international cities. So that's awesome. But the only thing that maybe is bad about that is it makes Charleston a little bit more crowded and a little bit more frenetic. And I think we see this too in some of the restaurants. There's just almost, it's almost, I've said and thought this for a long time, almost to the point of saturation, but I think I could still be wrong. I mean, I still think there's room to grow and meet all of those new tastes, those new personalities, those new backgrounds that are coming to Charleston. They were formerly much more homogenous 20 years ago when I moved here. But what's really awesome, and what I get really excited about, and why I really love to go out and eat in this town, and why I've gained 10 pounds since I've seen you, and working really hard at getting rid of that. Like,
Me too. Gotta get rid of this beard myself.
I see it not, but you know, I mean, I went to Hominy Grill. I had company in town this weekend, and we went to Hominy Grill, And, you know, the shrimp and grits is just off the charts, and it's because Chef Stelling uses always local little Geechee grits, the local shrimp, and
right.
just beautiful food. And I think that the bar has been set higher across the board, starting with, as I talk about in the book and also the original book, back about 2003, 2005, when Fig was on the board, when we started getting some James Beard chefs, and then Sean Brock really started ramping it up. He loves ramps, by the way, but that's a little oniony food, spring food. But with all of the chefs, is sort of massive support of local farmers, local fishermen, local purveyors, and organic and heirloom products, not just legumes, not just corn, not just grits, but even pigs and produce, or livestock. So, and then they developed these great networks for distribution to grocery stores, to restaurants. So it literally goes from farm or fisherman to plate, and it just makes a huge difference in the quality of food. And I just get so excited to eat here. I'm actually going to go to eat after this to one of my little favorite restaurants that's in the book. They actually want to carry it, Cafe Framboise.
Oh yes.
Have you been there?
Never heard of it.
Oh, it's a little French pastry and bistro, and they've just opened up a little next door. It's on Market at, let's see, right there by where would that be? Right by Market in Wentworth, basically.
Oh yeah, right across from Bob Wagner's place.
Right across from Chef Bob's, and I'm hoping to go by to visit him too, because I want to talk to him about a cooking class, and people are coming to town and want to take a class with him, like 60 people. I mean, the interest in food here is massive. So yeah. Café Framboise is French, so it's another England, but it's also just beautiful food made by hand, à la main, gorgeous croissant, gorgeous, and what I love is their salad niçoise. It's in the book.
Yes.
So it's just, I just can't imagine when I moved here in 2000. When I already thought it was a pretty great food town, and that's for me having lived in some really great food towns like Chicago, and New York, and Paris, and some others too, and I can't even believe what a mecca it's become. Yeah. It's unreal, but it's fabulous, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, I got a couple of restaurants myself that I love.
Which ones?
Verde.
Oh yeah.
That's my go-to place.
I have several that I go to that are sort of, but I don't want to say because they're like my quiet Holly place. That's where I go, where I don't want to see anybody that I know. I just want to put my food into a bowl of food and eat.
Yes.
And then not talk or look cute or pretty or anything. Or even charming.
That's true.
Except to my server.
That's right.
Always be charming to your server.
That's true. And let me get back to this. The new Charleston Chef's Table. What else are you bringing to the table as far as food?
Me personally?
Yes, ma'am.
So I do, when I'm not writing or teaching, or I've been doing a lot of writing. Did a lot of writing for CHG this year. I'm not necessarily on board there anymore, by the way.
Okay.
Just because again, we're moving in a different direction. But that was so much fun working there.
Yeah. And
working with a great staff there.
Yes.
And writing the newspaper.
Oh yeah.
But I also do cooking classes at home for small groups. I enjoy doing that. I get little groups, 4 to 6 people. They're usually special occasions. I don't have a cookbook idea in mind right now. My agent's on me for some ideas. I just really feel like right now I have some children's books ideas, and the novels, and I think it's really time. I mean, I've been writing about food for 20 years, and most of it is recipe development and features writing and news writing and critical reviews of restaurants. That I was a journalism major in college. I have a journalism background, so I feel like it's time to spread my wings. It's a little scary, but I mean, I love to cook for my friends too. I mean, I'd like to visit a house full of people this weekend. Nothing makes me happier, nothing, than to get up before everyone else and prep a delicious breakfast, get the bacon going, the coffee. Everybody wakes up happy. The little dog is there to give a high five. A little rock and roll.
Yes. You talk about dogs.
A lot.
When I interviewed you for Quintin's Cold Subs at your house in downtown Charleston 4 years ago, there was a good friend of ours that was there. Unfortunately, he passed away.
Yeah, little tan man.
Right, yeah.
He was such a great dog, and that day goes by several times a day that I don't think of him. And fortunately, now that it's over 2 years now, and we must remember he was 14 going on 15, so he lived a really good life.
Wow. Dog years.
Right, that I don't think of him. No, yeah, 14. In dog years, he was like 100, people years. So, and he was a great therapy dog, and as you know, a really sweetheart.
Right.
So I had to say goodbye to him and also his best friend Chutney Cat a week later. So that was pretty rough because you see, I don't have children. My parents aren't my children. I grew up with on a farm with chickens and ducks and dogs and horses and a pig and a goat named Friday and rabbits. I mean everything, and all of my brothers and sisters took care of them. So I wanted children, but didn't happen. So, well, it took me a little while, but then the breeder of Tan Man had a litter. She felt that it was probably time, and I felt that it was probably time, and I had a new cat by then, Mr. Perfect, who walks on a leash. He's a dog-like cat. So I got little rock and roll, and he's just a sweet. He was named that because he's always ready to go out of the gate.
Right.
Now he's a year and a half, and he's slowing down a little bit, just a little bit. And he's just a sweet. Everybody loves him. I think I'm looking into now. So it's taking a little breather time to get reorganized.
Sure.
Getting him set up as a therapy dog. You know, there are these reading programs where little dogs, friendly dogs, and he loves children, sit with children who have some inhibition or some struggles with reading, and the dog being there while they read out loud is a source of comfort for them. And I think he'd be great at it. So, and I think he'd love it.
Oh yes, indeed.
He also loves good food.
Really? What's his favorite food?
Well, this morning, for example, I gave him his regular kibble. Normally, which is, you know, he gets a certain kind, but normally I put in a little cottage cheese and a little bit of coconut oil, but I had a leftover summer squash casserole, which is in this book, that I made for my guests. And he put a little bit of that, mashed, all things mashed, yay. Really great some great recipes in that book. It's really utilitarian from a cooking perspective. But it has yellow squash and zucchini, a little cream, a little cheese in it, and my goodness, it's a lot of time. He just gobbled that up. Happily, little guy. He's a little gourmand. His tail was wagging the whole time. And now he's taking a nap because I took him for a big walk this morning.
I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah, I know. I put a lot on Facebook.
Oh, no worries.
But nothing. It's almost, people tell me they're signing up to be my Facebook friend. I'm like, I hope you're looking forward to a lot of pictures of dogs and food. Because that's what you're going to get. The occasional little poetic lounge about something I'm feeling or the weather or something, but that's pretty much it. I don't put political views, religious views, angry post. I stay away from all of that.
Yeah, we see a lot of that.
I know, I can't do it. I can't go there.
Yeah, it's too much. Let me get back to you and your book. Obviously, this particular book here, you know, is doing well from what I understand.
It is. It's selling really well. I think we're probably close to second print. It's only been out a month. Wow. I know.
What is your message right now to your readers?
Well, it's a little bit like what you talked about on my Facebook post. You know, I always want to, especially as a cookbook author, but I think as a person who really feels passionate about cooking and delicious food, you know, really embrace the bounty of cooking and food to me, it's a nurturing element, both on a physical level and a spiritual level, even on a sensual level. Because it's all about putting love into it. If you know, beginning with a product that you're using, carefully selecting it, carefully preserving it, you know, put it where it needs to be, like the corn needs to be, you know, in a certain place in the refrigerator, covered so it doesn't lose its nutrients, and use it as soon as possible. Buy local whenever you can. And then just, you know, and then have fun, and put love into it and have fun. And don't be afraid to be creative, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Right. I mean, I think the metaphors for cooking I apply to my life, and I love that, and I think that's why I love cooking and writing, because I can merge the two of them together, whether it's in cookbooks or, you know, conversations with people. I mean, I just think, you know, have fun. Life is short. Eat some delicious food. Have fun making it. I'm a tennis fan too, so Wimbledon's going on right now. Yay! So I was like, I gotta go see Quintin, even though Roger Federer is playing. But that's okay, because I love you just as much. Thank you. And he's probably gonna win, but I know he's getting tight. He's getting tight there. So what was I going to say about that tennis? Oh, so I was watching, and Rafa Nadal was, you know, they're in Wimbledon, and they have these. I didn't know this. They have these little. Like flats, they have their little houses that Wimbledon sets up for at least top players, hopefully all of the players, I'm guessing all, because it's England, you know, it's proper and polite, which is good. They showed him on his little bicycle, and he was going to go to, they showed him at the little local corner market, and he was buying pasta and shrimp, and apparently what he likes to do, you know, when he's not, you know, playing world-class top-tier tennis competition in one of the biggest majors, you know, of the year, he likes to cook pasta and shrimp for his friends. Gambas in Spanish. So I love that. You know, that made me really happy that Rafa, when he gets off the court, even though he's been beaten up in a hardcore physical game, that what he does is he comes home, he drives his little bike to the corner shop, picks out the food, and cooks it for his team. I mean, how wonderful is that?
Yeah.
I think if we all kind of got to that a little bit more, even if you don't love cooking, you know, something that you love, I think the world would continue to be a better place.
Yeah. You know,
it's really my mantra.
Right.
I'm sure that you can get that being in the restaurant industry. I know that they do some good things, you know, at oh my goodness, Creology and around the board.
Good barbecue.
I know. I know. What do you like? What is your favorite kind of barbecue?
It's there because we have to, you know, we have in-house smokers, so we smoke everything there. I just love the chicken tacos.
You like the chicken tacos?
Yes.
Do you like sauced or not sauced?
Both.
I like it both too.
Yeah.
It depends on my mood. I'm kind of like that with restaurants too around town. Like I said, I have my little haunts. I keep very secret. Except for my boyfriend when he comes in from the gym. It's like I took him to one of them this weekend. And he decided he didn't like it.
Oh.
I won't say which one.
Right.
But I still like it.
Yeah.
But I'm working on I'm helping him to develop his palate. When we've been dating almost 4 years, we knew each other in college. I know. That's what I say. Believe me, my track record is not ideal.
You're a great person.
Yeah, no, it's tough out there. It's tough out there.
I understand that.
Especially after a certain age, it gets tougher. But so it was wonderful that we had this reunion from college. But when we first started, he had this one single knife that could barely cut anything, and that was it, and mostly ate. I hate to say it, sorry, Michael, fast food, which I do too. I eat the occasional fast food, I admit it. Not often, but I do. And but now he's, you know, he can describe food, not like a food snob, but someone who's really experiencing it and enjoying it. It's an essential thing, it really should be, the experience. So when we were at Crust, which I went to, that is one of my favorite little haunts, it's also in there. The one on James Island on Haybank Highway. And we tried a barbecue pizza with peaches, with a mozzarella and a white sauce, and he said, there's a subtle nuance here. I'm getting, I think, oregano. And I said, I think you're right, honey, good for you. So that's like, I think if more parents help with their kids too, it's, you know, I think that really experiencing food helps people slow down and enjoy a meal, which hopefully helps them slow down and enjoy life.
Yeah. You talk about life. I gotta ask you this silly question.
Go for it.
Okay, you've published at least 9 to 10 books already.
9 books and a lot of articles, reams of papers of, you know, features and news travel and magazines. I've written a lot. My fingers are tired. My brain's tired. What did you want to ask me?
That's all good. But okay, what food describes you the best and why?
Well, right now I'm just like, it's going to be hard because right now my frame of mind is very much summer foods. I love the foods of summer.
Oh yes.
Right now I'm reveling in, I know it's corn, it's not supposed to be good for you, but I love it. I cook it in milk and I finish it with fresh basil and some butter and lots of black pepper.
Wow.
I only think that might be it, corn, but, and peaches and melons. I'm really in that frame of mind. But I also love winter squashes, seasonal winter squashes, all of them. They're sort of the, I'm gonna go with winter squash. Let's see, I'll pick a particular one. And then nobody will know what it is though, Hubbard.
Okay.
No, I'm going back to corn. This is why. I'm gonna go with corn because it's crunchy, it pops, it's sweet, it's mellow at first and then it's sweet. You can eat it on the cob, you can eat it off the cob, you can really eat it raw, you can cook it, you can put it in stews.
Oh yeah.
So it's versatile, it's fun to eat, it's slightly messy to eat if you eat it on the cob, and it's just really satisfying. So I hope I don't sound like a braggart, but
No, no.
I like to think that, you know, I guess I haven't really equated to food with me before, but since I enjoy it for all those reasons, I guess it is intrinsically me somehow. I guess that's right.
Yeah,
I also
I like
love peaches and cream.
Really?
Really better. The peaches are sweet this year.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, love that. Not good. Not so much into meat these days. I'm just with the vegetables in summer. I love doing a cucumber and red onion, pickled refrigerator pickles. Like I ate that with that leftover squash last night. God, it was so good.
Good man, oh man.
I know, and stewed lima beans.
Oh yes.
We've got Martha Lou's in there. I really enjoyed interviewing her. She's hard to get on the phone because she's always busy working in that little kitchen.
Fried chicken.
Oh, it's so good. She's like, but I did get her. She's a darling lady, and she's just so funny because it's, you know, I completely empathize from where she's coming as, you know, old school cook. She was describing quantities and cooking times in very nebulous ways. She's like, you put it in the pot with a ham hock and you just let it cook till it's tender. Right. I know, but how long? I don't know. So we work together to get stuff. You can't really go wrong with that. And you and I know.
Right.
I can't really say I'm from the South, although I was born in Huntsville.
Sure.
But I've only lived I've lived in Charleston for 20 years, that's a long time, but I've learned a lot about Southern cooking. We know that they're done when they're just really soft and delicious.
Yeah.
Don't you love those?
Oh, yeah.
I think I need to get my hands on some of those today. Now I'm getting myself hungry for that.
Oh, I can go to get some beans and rice for Hannibal's for you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I haven't been there in a while.
Really?
Yeah, and I think I've got framboise on my list today, but maybe that tomorrow. Again, I'm still working on that 10 pounds.
Yeah.
Me and Rocky, I'm walking him to death. We walked for not really, it's hot, so I have to get it up early.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah.
Well, I know you've written a lot of articles over the years. What's that one headline describe your future?
Let's see. Unbridled, brazen, and bold. I feel like going into new territory.
Yeah.
I really think it's time. You know, I'm 53. And I've been talking about doing it for a long time, and I've been reading a lot of inspirational stuff, and really, you know, and just this morning I read something about Mozart, and I put it on Facebook, of course, because Mozart's I also love music. You probably don't know that I studied flute for many, many years and was a first chair flute player in high school. Not a big deal, but
I thought I did my research on you.
No, that's kind of hidden in the annals. Of course, that goes back a ways. But I do love music, especially classical, but really I'm also a huge Rolling Stones fan and Zeppelin, so I kind of run the gamut. But I mean, those are all really old. But this, I forget where it was sourced, but it was about Mozart. Somebody had made kind of a comment about Don. I won't be able to think of the name of the concert. One of his symphonies, one of his ones where he really branched out from stuff he had been doing prior. I just can't, I feel ignorant that I can't think of it, but oh well. But anyway, by that time his career was very well established and he was going in a new direction.
Right.
And somebody said something, you know, it's amazing that you can come up with this genius, you know, so easily it seems when so many of us struggle. And Mozart, I love him. I love him on every level. He said modestly and truthfully, you know, genius is not genius per se. It's acquired. It's acquired with practice, especially practice.
Sure.
So, and then the article went on to detail the amount of practice required to become an elite musician, and that all of the elite musicians, whether they be performers or composers or whatever, really spend an inordinate amount of time practicing. And it goes back to something I read once about the Beatles, the same thing. They really became geniuses with all those performances in Hamburg, just over and over working and being on the road and writing. And they became fantastic songwriters. So, and then there was a quote in this article from Stephen King today, which I wrote it down.
Okay.
You know, he sits down every morning, no matter what, he writes 2,000 words, which is not a ridiculous amount, but that's a pretty long feature story, or part of a good chunk of a beginning of a chapter.
Right.
And to write down 10 to 20 ideas, just 10 to 20 ideas, and then this is coming from the musical side, and then you'll see the good and the bad, and you'll be able to pick out the bad
Right.
get to the good, and then just keep honing it down. So that's where I'm going to be. I'm giving myself through this week, and then I'm going to kind of really start I am going to jump into it.
You should. You should.
So bold, brazen, and I forgot the rest, and practice.
Oh,
practice.
That's right. Practice.
Yeah, no, it takes hard work. It always takes hard work and a lot of bravery to kind of really get good at something,
Sure.
especially if you're passionate about it.
Oh, yes.
You know that.
Right, it took me a while.
Look
I had
at
to sit down and
you.
do my homework, and here I am.
Getting awards all over the place.
It's the great Scott, I tell you.
I know, he's good.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
We're lucky.
Oh, yes.
We're lucky to live in this beautiful town and
Yeah.
have so many opportunities.
Yeah, thank God for it.
Yes, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to see you today, too.
Always. It's like talking to an old friend.
I know.
Yes. Well, Holly Herrick, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it.
I really do, too. Thanks, Quintin.
Thank you.
All the best to you.
Likewise.
Okay.
Yes,
thanks.
ma'am. Thank you.